check update tonight live on air. It's a big, bold, beautiful night, and tonight I got it right. Tonight I got it right because I have the live stream for your stimulus check update today. Public last night, I had it set to another mode in which you would not see the update. Big stimulus checks are coming to millions of Americans tonight, and the big question is whether new stimulus would be coming to you based upon the breaking news minutes ago that Raphael Warnock has won the Senate seat over Herschel Walker. Now that the Democrats have gotten even a bigger majority in the Senate than before, or then even picked up more seats in the Senate than even they had yesterday, does that mean a new round of stimulus checks are coming to millions of Americans? We'll go over all the incredible details tonight. But the major story we're working on tonight, of course, is that contradictory or slightly different analysis that came in from two very smart people. First one was JP Morgan Chase's head, Jamie Dimon, who spoke about people running out of cash in 2023. And then the chief economist at KPMG, which is another big financial institution, her saying that people have already run out of cash. We'll go over all those incredible details first in just a second, but let's go to those big stimulus checks. Stimulus checks have been passed by the President of the United States, passed by Congress since the month of March, and you qualify for those incredible stimulus checks. You got to do these differently than you may have done stimulus checks in the past. But if you've been a viewer of this channel throughout this year, you have seen it and learned to earn. If you just found this channel tonight, I'm going to show you how to get these incredible checks. These big stimulus checks are huge. They're $300,000 of stimulus checks available, 300 different checks, federal stimulus checks, and they are currently on average paying out viewers of this channel about 18 months of stimulus checks, about 5 stimulus checks per month, and about $3,000 of stimulus checks every month. What are these stimulus checks? They are from the federal government. Let's isolate what the federal government is so you understand this. You interact with either your city, county, or state on a regular basis, and then you also interact with the federal government, which is Congress and the White House. City, county, and state has this amount much money. Not a lot. Federal government, however, has lots of money, this amount of money. And that is why these federal stimulus checks are so much. Viewers of the channel getting tens of thousands of dollars. In March, I had 3 focuses for this channel to make sure that for the checks, to make sure that they're big checks, because a big recession is coming. In February, I was the only American broadcast to record that I'm predicting a recession starting in 2023. And the viewers of this channel immediately said, well, if you're right, LA, then give me big checks. 2-year recession. And I wanted to have big checks, tens of thousands of dollars. I'm so tired. If you've never watched the show before, this is where I'm a little bit off the cuff and I'm a little bit more to the grain. I tell you what I think a little bit more to the bone on this show. I'm so tired of people asking about $600 checks, $1,200 checks elsewhere. What is $1,200 going to get you? It ain't going to get you anything in this economy. It'll get your bills paid for about a month. That's not what I do on this channel. I get tens of thousands of dollars because I need to have you self-sufficient for many, many months. And so 2-year recessions, that's why you need tens of thousands of dollars. Number two, you need easy eligibility. And there's only 2 things you need to worry about. That you make 75,000 less, a single individual, you do, and that you're a married couple, you make 150,000 less, you do. So what do? You watch the videos from beginning to end. Currently airing on LALATE 1 is LALATE Live. On channel 2 is Stimulus Live. And on channel 3, LALATE 3, is Wall Street Live. All 3 videos teach you how to apply for these incredible checks. So what I need you to do is immediately start applying for checks. Immediately. Because we have now had the entire universe of analysts, bond traders, stock traders, suddenly now agreeing with this kid that said in February that we're going to recession. No one would dare say that word. They ran from the word when it was mentioned in February this year. They're now all saying the word. So they're all agreeing the recession starts in January, February. That's number one. They disagree whether it's a deep recession or a light recession. That's going to change very soon. Number 3, they all agree that everyone's getting impacted by this recession. And number 4, today we learned what you and I were talking about. People running out of cash. You and I all thought that people were running out of cash, but we didn't know. We knew how much they're spending, and we knew how much credit card debt they had. Why? Because American Express told us that, and Visa told us that. They told us that back in about 2 months ago. They said they've never seen credit card limits this high, number one. Number two, they said the spending is really higher than anything they've ever seen. Today we learned it's 10% more than the prior year, and last year was very big as well. But you and I didn't know was did they have the cash to pay for these credit card bills? We knew that the deposits, the savings that people had was the smallest of a generation, but we still didn't know did they have the cash to pay for their bills. Today we learned it twice. And I had to explain on the afternoon show, which was at 3 o'clock, how that was going to be slightly different than the 5 o'clock evening show. Why? Because the evening show is usually taped later. It was taped earlier today. And here's what happened. Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase said that when you're talking about people's bank accounts, he believes people are going to run out of cash in early next year. He said they saved up a lot of savings, including big stimulus, and he actually used the word stimulus, but he said they're going to run out of cash in early next year. Well, along came JPMG's chief economist. She said, no, what Jamie Dimon was referring to is middle class individuals, upper middle class, low income individuals have already ran out of cash. She said they've already run out of cash. So she said this is quite important to know how different the situation is across the board. One of the great things I learned from this functionality last night was that I can send out alert and say, "Hi, watch me, watch me." So I'm doing that right now. I can literally send out a message say, "Watch me," and I'm doing it right now. I'm going to do it 2 times. I'm going to do it for normal subscribers, which I hope you are. So send. Then I'm going to also do one for members. This is fascinating. I never knew this even exists. So I'm going to do this while I'm talking to you, and tell me if you're in the live chat if you get if you see it, if you get the notification. So that was for general subscribers. Now I'm going to do for members. I'm going to choose the member function, and I'll say now live. And there you go. Do you see me typing on the screen? I can't see myself typing on the screen because I'm now blocked by. There we go. So, need to get the stimulus, and there is no way to play games with this, folks. There's a lot of people playing games out there, and let's go over some of those things tonight. Number one, people that try to think this through too much is the polite way of saying it. And the unpolite way of saying it is that people who try to sort of make it a little bit more complicated than it is um, do not ask extra questions about extra elements of applying for stimulus that I don't cover because it doesn't exist. I'm going over everything you need to know. There's nothing else that doesn't exist. Number two, don't think this through too much. Just go apply. Move very, very quickly across the board because the situation is changing very quickly. And number three, it's like going on the freeway with no traffic. That's what it is now. You don't want to wait to get on this freeway of stimulus come January 2023. It's going to be a traffic jam for 2 months at least when the stimulus stampede hits really hard. And ultimately, I can't tell you how to deal with stimulus. All I can say is this is what the economy is showing. This is what the numbers are showing. The numbers are showing that people will run out of cash in early 2023 or have already run out of cash. Moreover, it's important to note that the stimulus checks are available now, so you don't wait to get them. You don't wait till the situation's worse. And tonight, as we saw in the title, I want to go over one point which is important to know. Is the Senate results tonight that Raphael Warnock has been reelected as the Democratic senator from Georgia, does that change the state of stimulus? No, it doesn't. Because what people may forget to tell you is that the Democrats now control the Senate even more than they did before, but the House is now controlled by the Republicans. So this stimulus on this channel is the biggest stimulus there is. There is no other stimulus. 300 different stimulus checks, $300,000, 18 months of stimulus checks, five stimulus checks per month, $3,000 of stimulus checks on a monthly basis. That's what viewers are getting. And here's something I used as another factor to clarify or to make clear even today on the recordings. Once you apply for stimulus and you get approved and it's monthly, it's automatic. I know you love that word, don't you? Automatic. So if you apply and you get approved for 18 months of rent, you don't have to keep on applying every month. You're approved, and every month you're getting a check for rent, or the landlord is getting the check for the rent. You don't have to do anything. What is more deliciousness than 80 to 90 automatic stimulus checks, where you're getting five of those automatically every month for the next year and a half? That is automatic stimulus like you've never seen. So what do? You go into this video, you when this live show is done, you jump on to any of the three channels. This channel, which you're currently watching, LA1, and you can watch LALATE Live, which is currently airing. It's about a 1 hour show, and then repeats itself. Or you can jump on to LA2, where Stimulus Live is airing currently, or on LA3, in which Wall Street Live is airing. All three shows cover the state of that stimulus. Again, here is what Jamie Dimon said today. He's the head of JP Morgan Chase, which is a major bank. He said that consumers have saved up $1.5 trillion in excess savings from pandemic stimulus. Good. They've saved up $1.5 trillion. Here's the problem. They're spending 10% more this year than they spent last year. And that's problem number one. So they're spending, meaning, let's say 2 years ago you bought one plane trip a year. Now you're buying five plane trips a year. You're just buying too many darn things. Number two, not you, these other people. Number two, those plane trips, which were $400 2 years ago, are now $700. So he says inflation is eroding everything. And just as I said, $1.5 trillion will run out sometime mid next year. So if you missed the breaking news today, it took two different shows to understand how the news changed, and I'll recap it tomorrow because it was very fluid. It changed very quickly. Jamie Dimon, head JP Morgan Chase, said that Americans are going to run out of their savings in middle of next year. Then an economist from KPMG Bank came out and said, no, they've already run out of the cash. Because she said that Dimon's data is really looking at middle class. She says low-income individuals have already run out of cash. They don't have savings stored up at all. And so this is why you want to get this big stimulus. This is why you want to get this big stimulus. You move very quickly. You move very, very quickly. Now, the reason why tonight is important is because, sure enough, tomorrow, some people are going to tell you, oh, the Democrats won in the Senate. The Democrats picked up more seats. The Democrats. There is not going to be a new stimulus package like the first one anytime again soon, because the Republicans hold the House. So the Republicans hold the House, no longer Nancy, but rather the Republicans. So they can't do another recon. They can't do another type of stimulus package. They got to do these individual things, which is why when I go through checks A through Q on this channel, they're very isolated stimulus. Joe Biden can keep on doing that. He can keep on doing executive actions. He can keep on having his agency send out stimulus packages, stimulus provisions, not packages, provisions. And so you're not going to hear them broadcast news. Broadcasting, you're not going to feature them. I will feature them. I'll always look for something new. I'll always look for additional stimulus checks. But let's recap the stimulus that's available for you right now. 18 months of stimulus checks, number one. Number two, 5 checks on average per month. 18 months on average, $3,000 on average per month. That is a lot of money. It's 50, 60, 70, $80,000 of stimulus checks. It's important to know that if you make $75,000 or less single individual, if you are a married couple and you make $150,000 or less, go get these darn checks right away. Hey Diane, how are you? Go get these checks right away. Do not wait to get these stimulus checks. Jamie Dimon knows banking better than anyone else. If he believes that cash deposits are going away, that people have no more savings left, whether it's this month or in 3 months, it's happening. So who knows? It's either this month, February, March, that people's savings accounts are going to be gone. Number two, we already know inflation's not going down. I mean, look at the numbers. There's no indication inflation's going down. So do you think inflation is going to go down from 8% to 4% by March? No, absolutely not. Hey, Alma, how are you? Hey, Diane. And hey, Denise, how are you? So it's so critically important. Hey, Catherine, welcome to becoming a brand new member. Catherine Johnson, everyone, congratulate Catherine Johnson for becoming a brand new member. Denise from Cornelia, Georgia. So we just went over the Senate results with Raphael Warnock winning re-election for that Georgia Senate seat. And what I just went over with that is that his win does not mean there's going to be a new stimulus package because the House is now controlled by the Democrats. Um, what's important to do is get the big stimulus available right now. If you're new to this channel, if you just found this channel, you're not sure how this works, welcome. All you have to do is listen and learn, watch the video from beginning to end. I explain everything. When I send out the alerts of brand new videos, there's informational video in there about the newsletter. In all the videos, I explain everything. Big stimulus checks available to millions of Americans. You get those big stimulus checks right now. You don't wait. I say this with a lot of tough love. And there have been times before that I came in really tight with my tough love. And one of them, I think, was in spring of last year, where I said you had to do something to get the child tax credit. If you don't do it, you're not going to get it. Well, this time I'm coming in really with a red siren. You need to get these stimulus checks right now. You don't sit around. You do not try to reinvent the wheel. You do what you got to do right now. Denise, thank you, LA, for all you do. Well, thank you, Denise. It's so important to know that whatever you see right today in this economy is going to be totally different in 2 months from now. There was a series of questions with those Black Friday numbers today. Yes, people spent a lot of money on Black Friday. They spent a lot of money going into Black Friday. The sales numbers were great. People bought a lot. Why is that bad for the state of the economy? Because apparently they do not have the cash for the things they bought. They bought them on credit card debt. Number one. Number two, their savings accounts are going to be gone by early next year. They have nothing saved, so they're going to be very, very frugal. They're not going to be spending money on anything. And number three, we learned today additionally, which I forgot to mention on the channel, is that the items that sold really well during the holiday season were very, very discounted items. Crayola King, how are you? Happy birthday. Uh, did they have condos on sale? Did they have the color on sale? Did they have Crayola crowns on? Crayola, did you buy any Crayola crowns on for Black Friday? Did you buy any Crayola crowns for Black Friday? I heard that a lot of sushi restaurants were including Crayola with a side of dim sum sauce. No purple crayons in my state. It's no purple crayons in my state. Yeah, when is sushi? When is my state sending out sushi? When is my state sending out sushi? Uh, and there's Anne. It's like, does Anne have the Anne has the bat signal out for Crayola because Crayola was in here. Let's blink. There was Anne. That was amazing. That was just amazing. I was like, oh, there's Crayola. Oh, there's Anne. Now, did you? I learned if by the way, if you missed one of the videos today, I explained what happened last night, which was that last night when I went live, I did not realize that um, there's a button I'm supposed to push that says public, and it was set to unlisted. So no one knew I was live. Now, tonight I learned a new function, which is I can press a little button, which I just did with my finger. Did you see my finger? That's my finger. I pushed a button and I can send an alert that says, "Hi, I'm live. Here I am." And there's Manuel Torres. How are you, Manuel Torres? And there's April. April Cabello, how are you? Wow, I missed like three people with my finger there. Yeah, wow, everyone just flying in all of a sudden. So big stimulus checks are available to millions of Americans. $300,000 of stimulus checks, 300 different checks. Um, the average payout that viewers are getting right now is 18 months of stimulus checks. 18 months of stimulus checks, and they are getting on average five checks per month and about $3,000. What I tried to mention earlier in the recording, push a button, send me some purple crayons. Okay, crayon, I'm pushing the special button. Here it is. It's not so use some purple crayons. What I tried to make a big point of earlier in this recording was that once you get approved for stimulus, it's automatic. Once you get approved for five checks per month approximately, it's automatic. The stimulus checks thereafter come automatically. So for the viewers who got five stimulus checks in the month of November, they're getting five in December, but they don't have to do anything. The stimulus checks are then automatic. Anne is throwing some Crayola crowns at Crayola right now. She's going to send some Crayola crowns to you on a zucchini boat and some Doja Cat music to go play in the background. um, uh, One of the funny things today was that I taped the afternoon show last and was very rushed in getting it up, and I don't think anyone knew that the 3 o'clock afternoon show had the LA Christmas tree in it because it was one of the most unwatched shows of the day. It just got up very, very late. It will replay again tomorrow, but the the LA Christmas tree got its debut today, and it just was not well. It was not known. um, it's important to get these big stimulus checks because of two reports that came out today. They were from two different sources, but they both say the same fate. KPMG's chief economist said that Americans have already run out of savings. And she is referring to low income households, that they have run out of savings. There is no more savings left for them. And then JP Morgan Chase's head, JB Diamond Chase, said uh, Americans will run out of cash by early next year, their savings accounts. And many think that he's referring to middle class and upper middle class. I don't really know, but that is what he's going off of. We already know that the numbers for purchases during Black Friday were through the roof. Actually, more like heels and whistles. Almost 2 years with this awesome guy. Well, thank you, Crayola. How are you? And bells and whistles, heels and whistles, bells and whistles. Thank you, thank you, Condo King. You know, when I first met Crayola, he was just Crayola. No, actually, he wasn't even Crayola. He had a name. He had a name, and then he became Crayola, and then he became um, Frosty King, and then he became Sushi King, and then I gave him the name Condo King. It was really hard to say Crayola, Sushi, Condo King. It's just a lot. So I do like Crayola Condo King. It's very easy to say. It's very catchy. CCC. It's like, he's like one of the Kardashians. KKK. Crayola Condo King. It just rolls off your mouth. It's just very catchy. Should definitely trademark it. I like more organic on these lives. I like your more organic. Yeah, I am organic. I appreciate that too. That's the purpose of this show. Is it's very free form. Um, Last night, the one that no one saw because I hit the button wrong was I was going off on Beverly Hills, city of Beverly Hills, and their Christmas lights horrible, cheap as, and shame on them. So yeah, I will not hold back on these informal live tapings. It's so important to get the stimulus because now the state of where the analysts have landed is that they all now agree, after months of me being the person on the island by myself saying, there's a recession coming. There's a recession. I said this in February. No one else believed me. Now they all say there's a recession coming. Number one. Number two, they agree the recession's coming in January. Number three, they do not agree whether it's going to be long recession, which is hard, or soft recession. Number five, they believe that people's Christmas tree, I saw that Christmas tree, that's the tree you climbed up on. Oh, and there's Chef Roberto. Hey, Chef Roberto, how are you? Um, do you have any good Christmas dishes you're making yet, Chef Roberto? Um, I yesterday I bought lamb and I bought ham. You know, I just and I bought God, I think I bought everything yesterday. But, I bought enough bizarre Christmas cakes to do like 20 shows. It's just like, what is this Christmas cake? What is this Christmas cake? It's just they're all gonna be featured on the 11 o'clock show. Some of them I looked at from a Mexican bakery. One of them I looked at. I'm like, this is gorgeous. It's truly gorgeous, but I have no idea what it is. It looks like bread, cake. It's all coming with the stimulus because stimulus is deliciousness. And there's Teula. How are you? Um, one of the tidbits I gave for viewers today, and Crayola King probably knows this, is I used a one of these newer Fandangle ladders for the Christmas tree. It really helped. Um, Mine was made by Gorilla, and it really helped. These new Fandangle ladders that are adjustable and they go up and they go down and they're light and they can hold you if you're 600 pounds, which is, you know, a couple centimeters. They are just, it's incredible. Homemade ravioli and lasagna. 2LAH, says Teula. She's saying how to pronounce her name. Tula. Oh, Tula. Oh, Tula. There we go. I thought she was saying something to me. Tula. Well, there you go. Tula. Let's try that. Let me see if I can get the last name. Tet, Tetrol. Is that French? Oh, Tula. Is that a French name? It's absolutely beautiful. Happy holidays, everyone. Uh, Diane. Yeah, Diane, I have a 600 pound ladder. Ladder to my crayons. Crayola, are you doing a crayon tree? I think someone needs to Google if anyone has ever done a crayon tree, because I'm sure I'm sure there's been a Crayola tree before, and I'm sure it is just hysterical to look at. It's just a lot of color, but so please get the stimulus. There's three yes, I am, says Crayola. There are three shows currently airing: LA Live on Channel One, different than this show, Stimulus Live on Channel 2, LA 2, and Wall Street Live on Channel 3. Make sure you subscribe to all three channels. It's free to subscribe. Jump in those shows, watch them from beginning to end, and they will show you how to get this incredible stimulus, pounce and get them across the board. I'll see you tomorrow. Programming continues after tonight. What is it? About 9. So Sunset's about to start at 9 o'clock on Channel 1 and overnight at nine as well on Channel One. Then we got the 10 o'clock, the 11 o'clock, and then we're back tomorrow morning 3:30 a.m. Early mornings LA at 4, mornings LA at 7, and then I'm back with you live at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow morning. Have a great night. Thank you for joining. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.